Hello and welcome to BikeDekho. Way back in 2005, there were only a few cruiser motorcycles. One of them was the Bajaj Avenger. Riding this motorcycle made you feel like a king, and because it was made in India, it didn't cost you a pretty penny either. Now the Avengers have undergone a few engine changes in the past, but now Bajaj has finally come out with an all-new range. Say hello to the Bajaj Avenger Cruise 220 and the Street 150. The new Avengers have retained a lot of their looks from the previous models, but there are a few minor changes now. The ever popular round headlight now gets a white hue rather than the standard yellow, and the instrument console now gets a digital LCD screen. The Cruise 220 gets a couple of chrome bits to glam it up, while the Street 150 gets a sporty matte black paint job. Both motorcycles get an indicator console on the fuel tank that shows you the neutral, high beam and turn indicator signals, but it gets very frustrating as you have to take your eyes off the road to look down at them. The pass light switch too is a bit awkward to use, but you'll get used to it in no time. The new grab handles look sturdier and the exhaust gets a long overdue redesign. The tail light looks dated and we wish they would have designed something new or even experimented with an LED tail light. The main distinguishing styling difference in the new Avenger 150 is the 12-spoke alloy wheels. It seems to be inspired from the Harley-Davidson Street 750, and we're not complaining, because that's exactly what's going to make this motorcycle sell like hotcakes. The Cruise 220 on the other hand gets metal spoke wheels in shiny chrome to give that traditional cruiser look. Now one of the major plus points going for the Avenger 150 is its engine. This engine has been worked on a lot and been tuned in such a way to give you good low-end grunt and mid-range power. Bajaj has spent a lot of time working on this engine to reduce the noise levels and the vibrations, and having ridden it around for a little bit, it does seem to have worked. Even though it's the same engine from the Pulsar, putting out 15 PS of power and 12.5 Nm of torque, it's been fine-tuned to such an extent that this could very well be the best state of tune for the engine ever. The engine noise and vibrations have been cut down to a great extent. The engine on the Cruise 220 is the same one used in the previous Avengers, but Bajaj have said that they have tweaked it better for more low-end and mid-range grunt. It still puts out 19 PS of power and 17.5 Nm of torque. But while riding, you can feel that little extra punch in the lower rev range, and that's what the Avenger badly needed. We only got to ride the motorcycles for a little while, and so we weren't able to test the performance or get you an accurate fuel economy figure. Once you sit on the Avenger, you'll notice that the seat height has been increased by a little bit to give you a better position while riding. The handlebars on the Cruise remain the same, but the Street gets a lower and flatter handlebar, lending a more comfortable ride quality. The combination of the low handlebar and slightly higher seat make maneuvering the Street a very easy task in spite of its slightly heavier weight of 148 kilos. Bajaj have spent a lot of time refining the gearbox and it's paid off. Shifting gears is smoother than ever and the clutch feels lighter too, which is good for commuting in the city. Pulling through the rev range is quick with ample grunt even in the higher gears. The Street touches 90 to 100 km an hour quickly and can cruise along comfortably at 110 km an hour. We were very impressed with the handling and performance of the Street 150, but the Cruise 220 didn't excite us much. Its handling felt similar to the old Avenger 220. The suspension setup on both motorcycles remains the same, but they've been set a little stiffer to address the problem of bottoming out. Unfortunately, this has made going over bumps a little painful. The wheel size and tire size of both motorcycles are identical, with a 90-90-17 in the front and a 130-90 at the rear. Braking on the Street 150 was much better than we expected it to be. The front brake now offers a good amount of feel and bite, while the back brake can be barely felt. The Cruise 220 on the other hand gets Brembo brakes up front, which is a definite plus point, and they work really well too. In the Indian market, there isn't much competition for the Bajaj Avengers, simply because every other cruiser motorcycle costs above ₹1,00,000, whereas the Avenger Cruise 220 comes for ₹81,000 and the Street 150 for ₹72,000. So basically for under ₹1,00,000, you can get a powerful cruiser motorcycle that chugs along nicely and looks pretty cool too. So that's all for today. This is Roma for BikeDekho signing off. Do remember to always wear your helmet and don't forget to subscribe to the BikeDekho YouTube channel for more news and reviews.